Yeah, welcome back to the Cocoa Digest Morning Show. If you're just tuning in, this is the Cocoa Digest Morning Show. We're about to have our main segments, but we will have a brief interim segment with Clement and Mimi, where they're going to be discussing the parliament issues going on. Clement is the one following, so he's going to be giving us a little update. And then after that, we will have our guest here to discuss the issues with FDA. Yes. So, Clement, what can you tell us? What's going on? What's the update now?
Ira, as we said, we are. If care is not taken, what happened in 2021, January 7th, might happen again the floor of Parliament, because currently we have a number of the NDC people who have already occupied the majority seat, and imagine if the MPP people also decide to take over, then automatically there's going to be a chaotic scene. And following it, there are a huge number of military men, as we said earlier, at the premises of Parliament. And surprisingly, we have a number of NPP supporters also at Parliament as we speak. And people are asking, what are they doing? Over 10 Sprinter cars.
Wow.
And they are in it. And some of them are they were in Sahom Senior High School bus. A senior high school bus. So people are asking the question that a whole school bus conveying NPP supporters to Parliament. The question is, what are they coming to do?
Why do they want to turn this country into, a chaotic, country?
Just one party that has been voted into power, and there's a whole lot going on concerning them. Why? And it's not even that it's giving them a good reputation.
The people you are even fighting for, they knew the repercussions. They knew what it will take them, to file in for standing as an independent candidate. They knew all these rules and regulations, and they decided to go in as independent candidates. So,
but I see my whole issue is, why would you convey supporters in party colors? Assuming if they are in normal dresses, at least it's good enough. In party colors to Parliament, what happens if the opposition party also convey number of supporters to Parliament? Let's imagine what is going to happen.
What message would that even send?
Let's imagine.
Does not go beyond party politics. This is representation of the people.
I doubt. I don't know the member of Parliament who is behind us. I don't know the minister who is behind this conveying of supporters to Parliament. But I might say it is a wrong thing. You might say it.
So my producer says there's a video they will display for us to view, and then we can speak more on the issue.
So there's a screening point. Before you enter, you need to be screened. And as early morning, as I said, was alleged that we have a number of MPs inside, NPP MPs inside. Yes, in fact, they were inside, but they sacked all of them to come out so that they do the screening. Yeah, so they all went through the process of the screening before. So as you can see, we have a lot of military men there, and you can see some of the members of Parliament also right there. So security-wise, it's okay.
So did they face any kind of challenge with regards to bringing them out to screen them?
No, I doubt.
They didn't protest.
The only challenge right now is the fact that the minority have occupied the majority, part of the Parliament sitting. So, and the NDC have taken the seats of the NPP. And I just heard that some NPP Member of Parliament are also taking their own seats. And so that is where the challenge is right now, leaving the minority,
currently the minority seat is empty.
Empty. No one is sitting. They are fighting for the majority seats.
So that is Honorable Kwame, I think Agbazer. Yes, he's the one on the screen. When he was reporting that number of MPs from the NPP side are already in the chamber. Yes, that's the video. Because he was also at Parliament early in the morning with some number of MPs. Yes, so that's also Honorable Isaac J. Mensah also on the screen. So you have, this is what I was talking about. This is what I was talking about. Why are you in party colors? What are you come to do in Parliament?
And in a school bus.
In a school bus. What are you coming to do?
They'll tell you about in a talk.
Let's speak to this matter. Because we are in the early days of early of the day, parliamentary proceedings has not started. And if you have a number of supporters from a political party in the premises of parliament, even in party colors, what happens if NDC people also decide to gather his people? We know NDC, Nima and those places. When they decide to gather these people to parliament, what happens?
And even the presence of these people could even lead to the incidents of inciting them to violence, where they could probably start throwing stones at people's cars or vandalizing, public property there. What is the end goal for this? Because what are they coming to shout till MPP gets the majority? What role are these people here supposed to play? And how much have they even been given to come here it's 9:12 a.m. and you're already here standing and walking about? Have you eaten? Are you thinking about your children?
That most of them don't even know what is happening.
They don't.
They don't know what is happening.
Not.
They've just been called to come, let's go somewhere.
But Yara, let's talk about this current issue of Supreme Court and the Parliament or Speaker of Parliament ruling. You see, this issue is a critical issue that if care is not taken, any decision, if the Speaker of Parliament should go by the Supreme Court's ruling, meaning that moving forward, Supreme Court would be having says in the affairs of Parliament.
Exactly.
And I think that is one thing that Speaker of Parliament would allow. And here's the case that if Speaker of Parliament decide to go by his ruling too, people would agree that he's also disagreeing with the Supreme Court. And it's going to be issue with the legislature and the judiciary. But this issue, I must say, they all have to sit down. It's one country. It's one country. We have 46 days more to election. I believe, from my point of view, let's still maintain the peace we have in the country, because this thing alone can affect the days ahead of us to election. This scene that we are observing in Parliament today, if care is not taken, it might affect the days ahead of us to election. So we plead our honorable members in Parliament that please, they should equally think about the layman as we here, so that nothing bad happens in Parliament. Because we have a number of people who support these people. Yeah. So if anything happens, they will also start from grounds.
It's true.
So just imagine the chaotic scene we are going to face in Ghana.
A video I watched of one of the party faithfuls, he said they are here to protect their member of parliament in Parliament.
Protect from whom? And from what?
They are there to protect.
But the fact is, the supporters there, I still don't understand why. I still don't understand.
Our leaders know the power the masses hold. Even in a democracy, the power the masses hold is a lot. And when they are not educated and they can easily be derailed or told some one or two lies to gain their support, if every MPP supporter comes there right now and they try to use that for some sort of gain, it would work, you see. And this boils back down to even our education system. I saw a protest in Spain, yes. They were protesting about the economy. And if you see the number of people, and this is a country, at least compared to Ghana, the education levels are higher. So these people probably know what is going on in the country. Unlike our own here, where how many people even know, even us here, the workers or the educated people, how many of us truly know what exactly is going on in Parliament? Even though we may be hearing about it, a lot of people are probably looking at it from the perspective of the political sides.
Of course.
Rather than the fact that they are representatives of constituencies. There are laws governing these roles that they are holding or these positions that they are in. And yet they are behaving in ways that do not reflect what is supposed to be done. And then we have our Supreme Court and then the clash between the judiciary and the legislature. These two bodies, according to what we know, they are arms of government. So one is not higher than the other.
Not at all.
You are supposed to work, and then they say checks and balances, separation of powers. Your powers are separated. You are to keep one another accountable for whatever you do. You do not order the other one, it's not supposed to work that way. So if a decision like this is being taken by one arm and the other arm thinks, no, it's not right, why not go back to the drawing board together? And then you don't just issue an order and then expect it to be taken. Then that way you are undermining the authority of one another. Even
so at this point, one of the arms of government is the executive is
and
missing, is silent. So I think they can also, say something about it, and then.
But you see, the problem with our system of governance right now, the executive, and then the political party that is fighting to be the majority. We have our government, that political party is in power. And now the executive, which is in the office of the president, is also predominantly MPP, right? So in a situation like this, everybody would seem to think that they would be biased.
Of course.
You see. So there's also that issue because somebody was saying that I think some people have actually been saying there should be some constitutional reform where the president does not get to appoint certain people. They should rather be elected and voted by their colleagues or even the masses. This way, there wouldn't be the risk of some sort of biases, and then because it could happen that way. They could use that bias, use that power. Even we have the issue of some of the members of the judiciary being appointed by the president.
Yeah.
Now, in a situation like this where it is his party that is in government, what are the likely things to happen? In theory, it's different, but we are human beings. Look at the behaviors we are already seeing. What do we think is going to be the possible result?
This is a typical example of if you have an issue with someone and then the person, the corporate tells you, let's go to court, then it means they have a representative in court. That is why they are dragging you to court. And that is what is happening now.
Yes, but Mimi, I think the point issue is the parliamentarians who actually petitioned Supreme Court on this very matter. Because if you look at what happened in Parliament, the Speaker of Parliament was following parliamentary proceedings. And in parliamentary proceedings, according to what they have, Supreme Court has no say in parliamentary proceedings. Supreme Court comes in aspects of constitution, the breach of constitution and other matters. So you're petitioning Supreme Court in this matter. Some school of thought in law says that it is wrong thing in the first place. Other school of thought also says that Supreme Court coming into this issue is a political matter. So why don't you allow the political people to view it in Parliament rather than you involving yourself in this very matter? Because now someone will say, as you said, executive is in center, and we don't know who is now scoring the goal and who is now defending. But apparently, like the judiciary should be the one to defend in matters like this. But the issue has been so critical that we don't know what is going to happen. But as we said, I think this is what is going to prove to us the separation of powers that we've been talking about over these years. We hope to see what Speaker of Parliament and the decision they are going to take. As we said, it should be in line. We know when it goes to A, B would make a lot of noise. When it goes to B, A would make a lot of noise. There's no way that A and B will be majority. So automatically you should understand that one will be majority and one will be minority.
And even, one of the comments we had earlier during the online review was about the standing orders in Parliament. So the standing orders are basically a form of constitution that they have where these things are addressed there. If you're a member of Parliament and you don't come for the proceedings, meetings for a number of days, the sanctions, all these laws are there that govern the Parliament House. So why not, refer to that and use that to make a decision without the involvement of the judiciary? If there's nothing like that in the standing orders, then, they are legislators, they are lawmakers. They should come together and do something about it.
I think this is in relation to Article 97 of the 1992 Constitution. That is why the judiciary got involved in it, because they came to interpret that article that if Speaker should go by that, then they will be depriving the constituents who are being represented in Parliament the freedom.
But then also the standing orders, which is so for the chain of command, you are governed by the standing orders as your unit, Parliament, before the Constitution, which is the law of the land. And now it is based on the Constitution that the standing orders too were created. So why rather bypass the standing orders and go to the Constitution when maybe there could be something there? Because this has happened before, as you mentioned, that during the CPP's era. It happened. So when it happened, what was documented? What were the ways forward, or what were the means used in that time? Why not refer to it? If they are not satisfied with it, then what is the way forward? Is that when they went to use the constitution in order to get support from the judiciary or something of the sort?
So, Yara, all these things we are talking about, truth be told, it's all being fueled by the two major political parties. Because there was a statement from NPP, I think over the weekend, and the statement reads they are going to support the majority in parliament with everything. They will make sure they resume or they assume the seat back as majority in parliament. And I know that the same way NDC leaders has also made such comments. So you can see that it is a political fight as we sit here. It is not the fight we think is just between the members of parliament. It's a political fight. And in a political fight like this, a lot of hands are included or they are on the table. Because some lawyers are of the view that what Supreme Court did is wrong. Others are of the view that what Supreme Court did is right. And I stand to be corrected. I don't know what is so unique about this case we have, and that's of the era of Right Honorable Speaker Michael Quay. What is circumstance? Because in his point, he was able to declare the seat vacant, and it was accepted. No petition was made. So why is it that currently Right Honorable Speaker Babin has done the same thing, but A has rushed quickly to Supreme Court for injunction or whatsoever?
The issue has to do with who is going to be majority and who is going to be minority.
That's very true.
Basically the issue.
But Mimi, do you know in 2008, this same cross-carpeting thing happened, whereby a number of independent candidates, 4 of them, of which we have Joe Wise, who is currently of the NPP. They cross-carpet from as independent candidates to NPP. They joined the NPP in 2008. And when they joined the NPP, there was nothing like petition. There was nothing like invoking of Article 97. So the question here is, people are doing it for their political interest.
Yeah.
But the broader picture is, let's put Ghana first.
And some people could argue that at that time, NDC members did not revolt. It was their choice. This is the country we are in. These are some of the mentalities going around. As we are saying, let's put Ghana first and then, move forward. Because there is way more to this than majority and
Clement was making a statement that it's a political fight between NPP and NDC. But do we only have 2 political parties in this country?
It seems...
Seriously.
Well, Ghana is a multi-party system. But
I don't know why the other political parties are quiet, are not saying anything.
So, like we said, strength in numbers.
Exactly.
They have the highest...
The fact that you are representing 2 political parties in parliament does not mean that the other people who do not belong to the parliament do not... the political parties do not have a say. They should consider those people.
But then, even now, if there are, members of parliament from other political parties representing some constituencies, do they make up to even 10% of parliament?
But Yara.
So it goes back down to the fact that there are not many, and if they all come to form a coalition, all the other political parties, their supporters and things come up to speak against us, then we can make some headway. There can be some sort of hope in that. But, I mean, this is Ghana. Everybody's thinking about themselves.
This is Ghana. And I think the point that the Supreme Court also used, that is depriving the constituency for represent, that point, whenever I try to think through, I'll be like, I don't know if the Supreme Court equally considered so many things, because we were in the country some years ago. Asan was deprived of a rep in Parliament. That is the Honorable Jachi Kwesen, was asked not to be in Parliament for some number of months. He was not in Parliament. So what about that issue? The South people for 4 years, what about that issue? So why are you making it as a point that just 46 days to election, it means you are depriving them of members of Parliament, which is nothing that has and see what Ghana done. And see that.
I think we all know. Had one member of Parliament who vacated a seat for some months. She was abroad.
We all know this issue. So why are we making it look like it is something that has never happened in Ghana before?
It's an election year, and they should not forget that whatever they do, people are watching.
Yes, we shouldn't make tensions rise.
People can decide the
Based on
last
this,
seriously.
to make
So
their
they should
voting
comport
decisions.
themselves.
Well, we'll be getting more updates on this as the day goes by. Next is the main segment with my guest here. So right after this break, she'll join us and then we will talk about empowering Ghana's industrialization through progressive licensing.